Everything seemed favorable at that time. But as the first orbit progressed, the second stage of the launch vehicle drew away.
Roger, Private. We still have the booster. We're out quite a ways from it now. It's taken a little more fuel than we had anticipated. To really make a major effort to close this last thing or to save the fuel?
The answer was almost immediate from the mission director.
You might tell him, as far as we're concerned, we want to save the fuel. We're concerned about the lifetime more than we are matching that booster.
Okay.
And that was it. Okay. The second stage of the launch vehicle went on to become simply Space Object 1391. It would burn up over the mid-Atlantic 2 days later.
Yeah, my phone.
Okay, we're giving you a go for your EVA at this time.
Okay.
The crew started their checklist for EVA, but Command Pilot McDivitt decided not to rush things. He elected to go for EVA on the third revolution.
Hawaii, Gemini 4.
Go ahead, Gemini 4.
Next pass around. I don't think we want to try it.
Very good.
Roger, I understand. Next pass around.
Tell him we're happy with that.
Most of the world waited 100 miles below. The crew had completed final preparations. The cabin was depressurized and the hatch open. Coming up on Hawaii, McDivitt reported that he was satisfied and ready to begin EVA.
Sir, you ready to have him get out?
Roger, flight, we're go. He's got some nice elevated rates, which we expected, and he's really speeded it up, but he looks great. Let's go.
Okay. Hawaii. Houston flight.
Houston flight, Hawaii, Capcom, go.
Tell him we're ready to have him get out when he is.
Gemini 4, Hawaii, Capcom. We just had word from Houston. We're ready to have you get out whenever you're ready. Okay, we better go now, is that right? Affirmative. Okay, we're still doing a little work right here. Roger, understand.
Get his status, Hawaii.
Gemini 4, Hawaii, Capcom.
Okay, I'm separating from the spacecraft.
Okay, you're separating from the spacecraft at this time, Hawaii.
Okay, my feet are out.
Okay, your feet are out.
I think I'm dragging a little bit, so I don't want to fire the gun yet.
Yeah, don't feel it.
Okay, I'm out.
Okay, he's out. He's close to free.
Okay, I put a little roll in, took it right out. Am I in your view, Jimbo?
Well, you know, I can't see it on the breaker.
Don't sweat it, I'll come over to you.
Yep, there goes your glove. Now we just let it go.
All right. Okay, I rolled off, and I'm rolling to the right now. Under my own influence. There goes a... Looks like a thermal glove, Jim.
It is, yes.
All right. Now, I've come above the spacecraft, and I'm coming back down now. I'm under my own control. Okay, I'm coming over.
It looks beautiful.
I feel like $1 million. Coming back to you. The gun works real good, Jim.
Let me get over here where I can see.
Yeah. Well, I got me upside down. Okay, don't fire the thrusters.
Make that flag look pretty.
Yep. Okay, I'm right by the stud antenna now.
Okay. Let me get some moves for you. I already get some tremendous pictures of you. Let me try again with the possible.
Okay, I think I've exhausted my air now.
Stay right there.
I had very good control with it. I just needed more air.
Okay, stand by. Let me take a couple pictures for you, bud.
All right.
Tell me what you think.
That's right. Capcom, it's very easy to maneuver with the gun. The only problem I have is I haven't got enough fuel. I've exhausted the fuel now, but I was able to maneuver myself out front of the spacecraft back. I maneuvered right up back on the back of the adapter. Just above Jim, came back into his view. This is the greatest experience. It's just tremendous. Right now, I'm standing on my head, and I'm looking right down. It looks like we're coming up on the coast of California. As I go in a slow rotation to the right. There is absolutely no disorientation associated with it.
One thing about it, when Ed gets out there and starts wiggling around, it sure makes the spacecraft tough to control.
Okay, I'm drifting down underneath the spacecraft. There's no difficulty with recontacting the spacecraft. It's all very soft. Particularly as long as you move nice and slow. I feel very thankful to have the experience to be doing this. I'll bring myself in and put myself out into your future.
Is he taking pictures?
Okay, you want me to maneuver for you now, Ed?
No, I think you're doing fine. What I'd like to do is get all the way out, Jim, and get a picture of the whole spacecraft. I don't seem to be doing that.
Yeah, I noticed that. You can't seem to get far enough away.
No.
Texas, remote your air to ground. California, go local.
I'm coming back down on the spacecraft. Listen, it's all the difference in the world with this gun. When that gun was working, I was maneuvering all around.
Just for your information, Ed, we're only down to 48% on our O2.
Okay.
He's got O2 pressure is about 830, so stay right up there.
Let me get a picture of it.
Camera here?
Yeah. No, not now. I'm out of it.
You got about 5 minutes.
Okay, I will let myself go out now.
Jiminy 4, Houston.
You know, Ed, the thing about the reference you were talking about looks like it's your right.
They don't even need one.
Jiminy 4, Houston, Capcom.
Guys, this is Jim. Got any message for us?
The flight director says get back in.
Okay.
Go on. Where are we over now, Jim?
I don't know. We're coming over to the west there, and they want you to come back in now.
Back in?
Back in.
Roger, we've been trying to talk to you for a while here.
Coming in.
You got about 4 minutes till Bermuda LOS.
History will record that Command Pilot McDivitt opened the hatch at 2:42 Eastern Standard Time. And a little after 3 o'clock along the eastern seaboard, Pilot White had opened up a new frontier for Americans to explore. In 21½ minutes, EVA was completed. Inside the spacecraft, the crew was faced with a problem. The hatch would not close. That day in St. Louis, when McDivitt took apart the locking mechanism, now paid off. The hatch finally closed. The cabin was repressurized, and the mission settled back into its 4-day cycle. The crew was busy stowing the extra equipment.
What do you think, Gun? Said he's busy and he'd rather not talk to us. Roger.
America settled back into its daily routine. TV and radio returned to their regular programs. News reporters and editors concentrated on other stories. Like their earthbound counterparts, the crew settled down to working, eating, sleeping. But most of us have not flown in orbit. It might seem that 2 men in space for 4 days have considerable time hanging over them. What is it like? Your basic job is that of a space test pilot. And like all test pilots, you must follow a careful routine. Each spacecraft system must be checked out on a planned schedule. You verify your readings with ground control. It goes like this.
Roger, give me your status. Give me your battery readouts, please. Roger, stand by, they're coming. Gemini 4, you can turn your radiator, correction, your secondary pump A off. You've operated it normal. Your radiator looks good. Roger, evaporator normal and secondary pump A off. Secondary looks good. Okay.
In the past, an astronaut stuck very close to the basic job of flying a mission, performing as many simple experiments as his flight plan permitted. But the 4 days of Gemini 4 gave Command Pilot McDivitt an opportunity to live in space and plan work on a scale impossible before. His flight plan included 11 onboard experiments. For convenience, they may be roughly divided into medical, measurement, and photographic categories. There were 3 medical experiments: in-flight exercise, in-flight phonocardiogram, and bone demineralization. The 5 measurement experiments included measurement of radiation, spacecraft exterior, radiation, spacecraft interior, measurement of the electrostatic charge accumulated on the spacecraft exterior, measurement of the direction and amplitude of the Earth's magnetic field, sextant-type measurements